I'm backyard camping at a friend's house in Reading, Vermont. I'm at the residence of Peter and Kim Vollers. Peter owns and operates Vermont Overland, which hosts events for both cycling and vehicle-supported adventure. You might have heard of the Vermont Overland Rally or the Vermont Birdwatching Safari. Well, those are held right here. He's out at an event right now, but when he gets back this afternoon, he's going to take me on a tour of some interesting four-wheel drive routes in the area. In the meantime, I'm just settled in, making myself comfortable, and I'm about to make some lunch. I'm going to try making good-to-go herbed mushroom risotto. Real food, real adventure. With me, even Pop-Tarts are an adventure. Tear the pouch open, add a cup of boiling water, stir and reseal, hang out for 20 minutes, and think about how big the universe is. Good advice, bag. Man, this water is nice. I've never camped poolside before. I could totally get used to this. I told Peter I might just stay indefinitely. I should probably get my tripod out of the water. You can just eat it out of the pouch, but I'm doing this. This is really good. Hey neighbor's dog. Oh hey Violet. Alright, I'm with Peter, who got back from his ride, and this is his Range Rover Classic, the Bumble.
Yes, Bumble is a 1994 Range Rover Classic LWB. Bumble is almost the exact same vehicle that I had in the early 90s. I had another built white Range Rover Classic that was a short wheelbase, and that was called Big White. And I saw Bumble a few years ago on eBay, and I thought it was the exact same truck. But it's just, I have something about built white Range Rover Classics, and the Bumble is the next sort of soul child of Big White.
Yeah, as you can see, Bumble's actively used.
Oh yes.
So what kind of terrain are we going to see today?
I'm gonna step up your challenge a little bit.
Okay.
I know what kind of terrain you've been doing, and now you've got a winch.
Yeah.
And you've got your air compressor, you've got everything else, and of course your truck is ridiculously capable out of the box.
So I should air down. Yeah, and so we're gonna have two vehicles. I've got recovery gear. Peter has experience, local knowledge, so we're gonna go out and have some fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
Alright, Peter is in front of me. We just left his driveway and we're on our way to get gas. Maple creamy?
Legitimate maple creamy stuff, and it happens to be 3 miles from my house, which is great.
When we were at the gas station, Peter was like, we gotta go across the street and get maple creamies. So this is soft serve ice cream with a distinct maple syrup flavor. It's very good. Ah, Vermont.
Come and hang out, come and do this and come and do that. And that way you can pick and choose and get that sense of community with that, get that social aspect.
I see what you're saying. You mean this spot that I'm at right here?
Could be like a little wedge, like there's a wedge rock that you have to use your sidewalls to get up. Like a little gully up here. It's not too bad, but it's going to be a good tip. There, you can see it from there.
Copy that. This road is really cool. It feels really good to put the Jeep to use. Going over myself with disinfecting wipes because I'm pretty sure I was into the poison ivy when I was putting the camera down.
So one of the coolest things about overlanding in Vermont is the fact that where the Class 4 roads were at one point was actually a developed area. You find cellar holes. So you find evidence of development that was largely from the late 1700s at the earliest. Most of them are early 1800s to the late 1800s. And the reason for that, and the reason why there's not a settlement there now, is because there was this huge mass exodus in the late 1800s for sheep farming, of all things, in the Midwest. Literally, I think it's where the phrase greener pastures came from, because that really is what happened. Vermont's a very difficult place to do farming. We have long winters, we have rocky soils, and there was so many trees cut down and everything else. It was very hard to just keep up with things. So people moved out west. And this is one of those areas where it was literally a thriving town. There was a hotel, there were homes, there was everything else, and now it's nothing more than this confluence of Class 4 roads.
Hey Violet. Hey Violet. What are you barking?
Violet, go look. Who's that? Who's there? Hey Violet. Hey Violet. What's up, Violet? Look. Look.
Hey Jack.
Go.
Except for when you get way up north, then it might be really limited roads. And yeah, you're limited in space, for sure, but you know, chaos that you can actually go places with confidence, and now you can recover yourself.
Peter and I bailed from the trail because we've got Worthy Burger on our minds. We're famished, so we're gonna get something to eat. But this afternoon was awesome. It's been ages since I put the Jeep to work like that, and I even think I got some use out of my skid plates. Made a couple shiny spots.
Boss, how we doing? How are you?
This is the Worthy Mac, and it is exactly, this is perfect. I think it's Yesterday I aired down to 15 psi for Peter's roots. I'm going to take it back up to street pressure, around 32 psi. I love having onboard air. It feels like a piece of me was missing all this time, but now my heart is full because I can inflate things. Some bread, cooking spray, pasta, cereal, orange juice, pasta sauce. We are good to go. Okay, this is getting tricky. I'm at Warren Falls, a spectacular system of waterfalls in central Vermont. Let's go take a look. Warren Falls is amazing, but it does get very busy on a hot summer day. I got there at 11:30 a.m. and there were other people, but I kept them out of camera frame for the most part. Mosquitoes are really bad. I can't get the screen room up fast enough. Secluded lakeside spur at the end of a Class 4 Vermont road. It is heavenly, aside from the you-know-what. In fact, the bugs aren't out here on the water, so I can take this off. Oh my gosh. Really bad. Really, really bad. This is great. This is an awesome lakeside campsite. I can't sugarcoat it though, the bugs are making this downright unpleasant. The mosquitoes and the gnats are hungry and there's a lot of them. I can't keep them out of the screen room, I'm having trouble keeping them out of here. Nevertheless, I plan to spend 2 nights here. I didn't check the weather forecast too closely before I lost cell service, but I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So the conditions out there might be dramatically different than they were today. I'm not sure which is better, warm sunny day full of bugs or a rainy day. When I sidelined my scuttle, I knew that I wanted to get a replacement cooking surface that would serve a similar purpose, and I found this Lodge cast iron reversible griddle grill at REI. It's very thin, so it's compact, easy to store, it fits perfectly in my 2-burner stove, and it's heavy, as cast iron usually is. Very, very heavy. Seasoned and ready to use for a natural, easy release finish. Hand wash, dry promptly, rub with cooking oil. Great for the oven, stove, grill, or campfire. I like that thing, it cooks it fast. This is a little bit more medium than I want, but still very good. Scuttle was much easier to clean than that griddle. Also, it needs to come with some sort of sleeve or pouch, because right now I don't know where to put it without getting other things dirty. It's Tuesday night, and overall I'd say this campsite is a win. It's a solitary campsite on an undeveloped lake, and I have it all to myself. I know because I went kayaking this morning, and it's about 2.5 miles around the perimeter of the lake, and there's no one else. On the other hand, there's not really a lot to do here aside from admire the scenery. If it was a little bit warmer out, you could go for a swim. Of course, you can go boating or fishing, but I spent a lot of time in the Jeep today, and the bugs are making this downright inhospitable. I can't complain too much about the bugs because the season is young, and I'm sure I'm going to encounter them a lot more, but I am looking forward to moving on tomorrow morning. As soon as this coffee is brewed, I'm going to tear down and head out. But I have my work cut out for me. It's 8:30 a.m. I got up at 6:30, so it took me 2 hours to break down all that camp, make coffee, and that's pretty good. Although my screen room is absolutely saturated, so next chance I get, I have to air that out and let it dry. I'm passing through Newport, Vermont, just south of the Canadian border, though I'm not heading into Canada quite yet. I'm camped at Brighton State Park near Island Pond, Vermont. The idea is that a developed campground would have fewer bugs and mosquitoes than a primitive site. Well, that is most definitely not the case because the mosquitoes are out and they are swarming here. So I went back into town, I got a citronella candle, I got this Murphy's mosquito sticks, which is a sort of incense type of thing, and I started a campfire. It all sort of helped, but not a lot. So once again, I'm taking shelter in my screen room. But I figure, since the bugs are so bad, I'll hunker down here for a couple days and make the best of it. But it's a nice campground, $20 a night, so it's sensibly priced, and there are restrooms, so we can't beat that. For now, I'm making dinner and just settling in. It's Thursday morning at Brighton State Park, and so far I had cereal, purged mosquitoes from the screen room, did work on my laptop, and I also checked the weather forecast. In 2 hours there's a chance of rain, and it's supposed to last for 36 hours after that, so I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to use this opportunity to tear down my screen room now. It's going to be a lot easier to deal with it when it's dry than when it's wet. I think this could very well be the worst mosquito experience I've ever had in all of my travels. I'm not kidding. There are countless mosquitoes in here right now, and I've been fighting with them all day. And it's challenging. Right. I am fighting a losing battle down there, so I'm gonna come up here for the night. Maybe I can more easily defend this space. Every now and then I find myself in a situation that tests my resolve, and when that happens, I take a deep breath and remind myself it's all a part of the adventure. I wish I had that kind of enthusiasm off camera. It was probably camping by the side of the pool that made me soft. Speaking of that, shout out to Peter Vollers with Vermont Overland for letting me use his property and for taking us on an amazing adventure. That was truly the highlight of my week. For now, it's Thursday night. I'm going to stop recording, try to get through the night without being eaten alive, and tomorrow I'll work on getting this episode out. So thank you all for following along. That's a wrap. I'll see you next week.